In this video, we are going to be talking about exactly how to take a love relationship and develop it into a happy home. Let's get right in. So on one hand, we have a happy home. On the other hand, we have a love relationship. Now, the goal is to develop this love relationship so that it ends up in a happy home. But a key question to ask is, what are the factors that lead to a happy home? What are the things that make a happy home? If we can answer those questions, then you know exactly how to develop this love relationship so that it is well grounded into a happy home. So I'm going to give you 7 things that account to the factors that leads to a happy home. Now, the way and manner in which you manage these 7 things in a home will determine whether the home will be a happy home or whether the home will be a home full of chaos. So let's list all of them. So the first of them is children and parenting. The way children and parenting is handled will determine whether a home will be a happy home or a home will be a home that wouldn't be a happy home. So that is a very important factor. The second important factor I'll give you is money. How do you earn money in a home and how is the money spent? Now, this is a crucial one. If this is not managed properly, it will end up in a whole lot of conflict because of that. I've seen many marriages that have broken or collapsed just on account of money. The third factor is life goals and life visions. So remember that you and your to-be spouse, each of you have life goals, you all have dreams and ambitions. The way you bring those dreams together will determine whether you would end up in a happy home or not. The fourth of them is faith and belief systems. This is a crucial one. So it is not enough to say, I'm a Christian, therefore I'm marrying a Christian. You also have to go beyond that to think about what are the things I believe and what are the things he believes, or what are the things I believe and what are the things she believes. If we believe in different things, even though we are from the same faith, that will create problems for you in the home. So that needs to be handled properly. Now let's talk about the next few ones, strengths and weaknesses. Every one of us have strengths, every one of us have weaknesses. The way strengths and weaknesses of each other is managed will determine whether you have a happy home or not. Then the last two, house chores. So house chores and responsibilities, this is a very important one. So how house chores is managed, how responsibilities are shared would determine largely how your home will turn out to be. And then finally, love language, how you manage each other's love language. So love language simply means there is a way that makes you feel loved that is different from how the person you are dating feels love, and you need to learn how each of you feels love and then manage that properly. So these factors, if they are handled properly, will end up in a happy home. So how do you develop your relationship to end you up in a happy home? Here's what to do, but I'm going to point out so this is the point. You want to build conversations that will nurture this love so that this love grows up into a happy home. Now, what usually happens is that in relationships, from my years of experience of counseling singles, here are the kinds of conversations that often happens. They are not bad, but if these are the only main conversations that happen, then there's a problem. So the first of them is conversations around emotions, feelings, and attractions. So you may find couples having people in relationship having conversations like, Oh, you look so cute. I really love you. When I see you, the butterflies in my stomach, they just jump out. So those are expressions of emotions. Then there are other conversations that are around fun and hanging out. So conversations like, what do we do today? Well, let's plan our vacation. Where are we going? What's our next trip? And so on. Then there is those I call casual day-to-day conversations like, oh, I just called to check up on you. How was your day? How is your family doing? Those are casual conversations. They are important, but not as important as some other conversations I'll be talking about soon. So the goal often for people in relationship is to use these conversations to develop this relationship to end up in a happy home. But I hope you can see the disparity here. These conversations don't build up the factors that are required for building a happy home. So here's the problem, here's the gap. So you see that on one hand, the conversations happening in the love relationship are not those kinds of conversations that will ensure that the factors for building a happy home is in place. So there's this disparity. So here's what happens. People have these sort of conversations, get into a home and realize that, oh, actually the things I need to build a happy home is a different ballgame altogether. So this is what you should be doing. Start from the end. So start thinking about what makes a happy home, which I've given you, and start developing conversations around them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying those other conversations are not important. They are good, but not as important as these ones that we are yet to talk about. So when we take children and parenting, for instance, you should discuss how many children are we going to have in our home. This is an important conversation to have while you are dating. How many children are we going to have? So if your spouse wants 5 children and you want 1, you can see that even though if you don't agree on that while you're dating, then you get into the marriage and it can cause a whole lot of problem. And then you need to talk about parenting. What kind of children do you want to see in your home? Children who are very intellectual, children who are very bold, confident, children who are very humble, children who are very religious. You need to agree on that at the time when you are dating. Don't wait till you get into your marriage or your honeymoon to start that conversation. It needs to start now. The other important one, which I mentioned on money, is to talk about things like, how would money be earned in the family and how do we spend it? What are the policies you put in place around spending? So if you are coming from a home where your dad will often make the spending and then later inform your mom, and then this other person you are dating is coming from a home where the entire family have to sit together, even together with children, to decide how money is spent, then you see that when you get into the marriage, expectations will be different, and because of that, it will trigger conflict. So make sure you agree on that. How do we spend money? How do we agree on expenditure? And what are the nitty-gritties that we need to plan for? Then another key conversation is, what are your long-term life goals? Ask the person you are dating. Let the person tell you. Be clear on that. What do you see yourself doing the next 10 years? You should also mention to the person what you see yourself doing in the next 10 years. And then discuss about how you're going to bring those together for the common good of the home. So I'll give you an example. My wife is very much into helping youth, into relationships, and so on. I love writing books, so I write my books and then she gives her input, and I also talk about things regarding what the Bible says about relationship, and together we put that together and we complement ourselves achieving our goals. So I hope that helps a bit. Let's keep going. What are your core values, your core belief system? What do you believe about God? What does he believe about God? Or what does she believe about God? What do you believe about any issue of life? What do you believe about various doctrines? Make sure you agree on that before you get to your marriage. Otherwise, what can potentially happen is that disagreement on this would impact how you raise your children. What do you believe about parenting? Do you believe in corporal punishment? Do you believe in Think about that. Discuss those points clearly so that there can be a consensus before you end up in your marriage. Then let's keep going. Strengths and weaknesses. What are your strengths? You need to let the person you are dating know. Very important. What are your weaknesses? And I know this can feel threatening because you may feel that you would be taken for granted, but it's important to settle on this before you marry. So open up to one another. Discuss your strength, discuss your weaknesses, and how you are going to help yourself to overcome your weaknesses and also to complement one another. Who does what in the house? This is a big one. So even though this shouldn't be taken legalistic, so that if, let's say, the lady is the one you've agreed will be doing the cooking, if she's sick, you can say, no, you are supposed to do the cooking because we agreed you do the cooking. No. So, but you need to have a framework. So who does the manual job? Who does the weeding, the gardening? Who does the cleaning? Who does the cooking? Who does the taking care of the dishes? Who does laundry? Discuss all these things. Now, you would find that by discussing this, there is a clear expectation, and you begin to complement one another in these areas. If this is not discussed, you get into a home and this person is expecting that this other person would do the job, and this other person is also expecting that this other person would do the job, and then there is conflict. Finally, love language. Love language is an important one. Basically, what makes you feel loved? You need to let the person know. And then what makes that person feel loved? You need to have that conversation so that you don't begin to express your love language with the hope that they will feel loved, and they don't express their love to you through their love language. So if you haven't read the book on love language, I encourage you to go take a look at that book. There's a book on love language. I think it's by one author, Gary, and you find out the things that make people feel loved, and you begin to express them appropriately. So I hope this conversation, this brings clarity into the kind of discussions you ought to be having while you are dating. Now, by having these conversations, you are building your relationship to develop yourself into a happy home. Now, take these points from me, go and implement them readily. If you are in a relationship, start discussing these things now. If you are yet to go into a relationship, keep this at the back of your mind and get the ball rolling by discussing these immediately you commence your relationship. By discussing these, you would also get to find out if the person you are dating is the right person for you or not. We'll bring you more content. I hope you loved this video. If this was insightful, if this helped you, feel free to share it with friends, feel free to share it with loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like the video so that you can get notified when we do more videos. Until I see you next time, stay blessed. Things that we should, things